Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look right here, which is using the new Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. I just got around to playing with this the other day, and you guys loved the makeup look and wanted a tutorial. So here we are with a tutorial. I actually was inspired to use these tones in particular from the palette because I watched Jamie. Meet Jamie.
Hi guys.
I love her. I'll link her in the description box. She has like the most incredible Scottish accent that just, she could say anything and I'm like, yes. I hope you guys like it. Let's go ahead and get started. First, before I start, I think I'm gonna conceal my breakouts. They're healing though, so that's good. They're just a little bit red still. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, make sure you go check it out because I show you guys how to cover it. I'm so happy that they're, healing. They're just red. They're mostly kind of flat, so I'm gonna take my BECCA concealer and just put a little bit on to start. Blending it in with my Morphe brush, just so it doesn't distract me personally. So first I'm taking a base. This is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm gonna take the Sigma Precision Flat Angled Brush. And I actually dipped 1 drop of DURALINE in here because it makes it nicer to work with, not as drying if your lids are drier. I love this eyeshadow base when I'm doing really intense looks. Just evens out all the redness on my eyes, but I'm gonna put a very light layer of it. I'm so happy you guys liked my last video. It really meant a lot to me how supportive you guys all were. Thank you very much. So the only thing that the palette doesn't really have is like a matte light shade to set your base. So I'm just picking up a matte bone colored shadow. It's gonna make it easier for us to blend all these colors. I'm actually gonna take an even lighter color and just put it on the brow bone up here. Just take like a white eyeshadow or something just to give a little highlight up in this area. We're gonna go into the Jaclyn Hill palette. Boom. So I'm taking a MAC 224 and I'm gonna start with this orange shade over here. It's like a very nice tangerine color. And I'm gonna start applying this in the upper crease as a transition shade. So dipping back into that tangerine color, I'm just lightly swishing that into the upper crease of the eye. And then whatever's left over on the brush, I bring it out back here. Just so there's a nice fade on the outer part of the eye. Next, I'm taking a mixture of this color right here and also this shade right over here, both matte shades. And I'm still using my MAC 224 for that. And I'm gonna place that right under where I placed that tangerine color. Same very light motions here. If you blend up too far with this color that we're applying now, it's gonna cover everything we did with that tangerine shade and you're not gonna have as good as a gradient, so make sure you try to stay right underneath it. Gives you that sunset look. Sometimes I will cover my transition shade on accident because I blend up too far and I just go back in with a clean brush and the transition shade again and I'll buff out the edges just so it peeps through one more time. Kind of bringing it into the outer corner here, circular motions. So I stopped using the MAC 224 for a while, but the other day I was like, oh man, I'm gonna pick that back up again because I used to use it all the time and I forgot how much I loved this brush. It's a little bit larger than like a MAC 216 or one of my Smith brushes, but it does really help you blend because it's so soft and fluffy. You just have to make sure that you stay in the right area, but it buffs out edges like really, really nicely. It's perfect for transition colors. So if I wanna go back into the transition shade, I can and really blend out those edges too, just to make sure that we don't lose any of the tangerine color. I'm gonna take a smaller brush. This is the Smith 235 brush. This one has a really nice fine point, so it's gonna get really into the crease, which is what we want. I'm going to be taking this shade right over here. It's a nice deep maroon shade, and I'm using the Smith 235 for that. This brush has like such a nice fine point, but it also has a fluffy outer part of the point, so it's gonna get into the crease and also blend it for you. Look down into my mirror so I could really get into that crease. Really buffing it in. And I start with a very, very small amount of product because when you work with darker colors, you can mess up a lot easier. So if you start with a little bit of product first, it's gonna be better for you if you do mess up. This color is super pigmented too, so I barely put any on. It's already pretty intense. That's it, that's all. I'm not gonna dip back in because we're gonna use one last shade. So I have my MAC 224 brush always next to me so that if I need to, I can buff out any edges afterwards. It's really good at diffusing color, so I just use that to lightly go over all the eyeshadows that I put down. It's just gonna give it a nice soft look. I know this is a lot of colors, but then I went into this really, really deep espresso brown here. And this is where we're gonna deepen everything and really define it. The lowest part of the crease is where you wanna place this. So if you notice, every time I dip into new eyeshadow product, I put it where I want the product to be most pigmented, which is right into the crease. And then whatever's left over, I always lightly feather it out so that everything starts to like blend into the rest of the face, if you will. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush with no product on it and smooth out the edges of everything. One last time. I'm taking this foiled copper eyeshadow on a flat concealer brush, and I lightly dampened it with some Fix Plus. It doesn't need it, but I just feel like it makes it a little bit sharper so I can cut the crease a little better. And I'm just gonna round out the shape here on the crease. I went in with a very light amount first so I could get a good guideline, but now we're about to build it up. It's very fiery. I love coppery eye looks because I feel like they look so good on so many different eye colors. If you have hazel eyes or green eyes or like really even light brown eyes, it just makes them pop so much. It makes your eyes look lighter. Woo! I'm gonna pick up my Smith 256 brush, and I'm gonna take this shade right here that we used in the crease. So we're just gonna take that and place it right here and feather it so it has a little bit of depth in that outer corner. Also, don't worry if you mess up over here because we can clean it up with concealer later. I'm gonna take the deeper maroon shade and apply that at the very, very edge of the outer V here. We are making moves. Oh, I love these eyeshadows. Oh my God. I just saw JLo on her Instagram live wearing the high key fades and I about died. I know she's been, the silvers. She was wearing silvers, but she was wearing fades the other day and I about died. I mean, she is like iconic, okay? I love her. She's worn almost all the colors. I've seen her wear gold, black, and fades and the silvers. Let's apply our lashes since we're here. I'm using the Voluminous Lash Paradise Waterproof Mascara, and this is by L'Oreal. This one right here, it's really good actually. For me, I have such little lashes, so it's one of those mascaras that really sticks to each individual lash, but doesn't clump up. Like it adds a thickness around every lash without making it look super clumpy. My kind of formula. Also, update, I ran out of Latisse, and I have yet to go buy another bottle, so I haven't been using it for like the last 3 weeks. I need to go get more because my lashes are starting to like go back to normal. You could apply a black wing if you want with this look, but I did not. But if you guys want to do a wing, then do a wing. All right, so I'm gonna be using the MERAKI lash glue. Oh, I'm using Queen Bee lashes. So what I do is I put like a thin layer on each lash. I go back to the first lash and put another thin layer to make it extra sticky. Let them sit and dry for a second. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply the lashes now. Coming up from above. Yes, Typically, I would then move on to doing the rest of my face makeup, like my foundation and everything, and then finish the eyes, but I'm filming by myself right now, so I'm just gonna finish the eyes first and then zoom out and do the rest of my face. So I gotta put a little concealer on so that I could blend the eyeshadow out on my lower lash line. This is my BECCA. I just love this concealer. This is literally like my favorite. I've been using it all the time now. Luminous concealer, medium. This is the Morphe G37. Very similar to the other one I use. I'm just gonna blend that in really quick. Right, so moving on to the lower lash line, I'm gonna be using the Marc Jacobs KOKO eyeliner pencil. Apply that into the waterline and also on the lower lash line slightly. Do it messy because we're gonna blend it out with shadow. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna first start out with this shade over here and apply that with a Smith 253 brush. Always start at the outer part of the eye first with the most product and then work it inwards to the inner corner. And actually, I'm gonna use a fluffier, clean blending brush to diffuse that. It can look crazy really fast. I'm gonna keep using this brush. This is the Smith 230. And I'm gonna go into the tangerine shade and also buff that under the eye, mostly on the outer part, and connect it to the top. On a pencil brush, I'm gonna use that on the very, very outer corner. That way everything that's deepened up on the outer corner here will also be deepened up on the outer corner of your under eye. If you need to take your blending brush, go back in and diffuse it a little bit, you can do that. And then you can go ahead and apply mascara to your lower lashes, which I'm gonna do off camera because mine are very difficult to do, and I'll just be covering it the whole time because they're very tiny, so I'll be right back. So now moving on to the face makeup, I'm doing a pretty similar routine as my last video that I uploaded. I'm using my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I'm gonna try the color 8 today just to try to match my neck a little bit better. Taking that on a little dish, and I'm gonna mix it with my MAC Strobe Cream, dilute the foundation, make it even more luminous, and just give it that really healthy look finish. Ooh, I think that's gonna be really good for me. Now I'm taking my Beauty Blender, I'm gonna blend all of that in. Okay, so now we have a nice sheer layer of foundation. I'm gonna take my brush, and this is the Morphe G40, and I'm gonna go lightly over my problem areas just one more time with patting motions. Pretty good. So since my breakouts are in the healing process and they're a little bit more flat, I'm not gonna do the Studio Fix trick that I showed you guys in my last video because there's no bumps. You can apply a light layer to just kind of conceal them a little bit more though, if you want to. This stuff is just heavy duty. It's really gonna conceal further. And in the last video, I put a little bit more concealer over top, but I'm just gonna leave them like that. I'm gonna apply a little powder to my oilier areas. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, just on the sides of my nose and on my forehead, in the center, and on the chin. I'm taking a fluffier brush and swirling into that powder and just patting it over the breakouts too. I'm gonna pick up the MAC 116 brush and going into the Studio Fix. This is NC43, and I'm gonna apply it where I would apply my contour and just lightly tap into it to get a little more coverage in that area. And then I'm gonna take a lighter color. This is NC40 for the center of my forehead here so that it's a little lighter, and it's gonna cover the breakouts there. So I did forget to apply my liquid glow before I put all my powders on my face, but it's okay because I didn't put too much powder here, and not really that much here either, so it's fine. It's not a big deal. But if you're doing this at home, make sure you apply your liquids first, then your powders. And I'm using my mixture here. This is the Marc Jacobs Do You Drops with the Iconic London Original shade drop. By the way, this is just like a candle holder from Michael's craft store that I picked up. It's just nice to use it to blend mixtures of foundations. I think I'm a mad scientist sometimes. I'm like blending 5 different foundations just to see what happens. So here comes the glow. Right down the center of the nose. The reason I mix these two highlights is because the Iconic London one is very, very powerful, and sometimes it can be too powerful for the more of like the wet look that I'm going for. Like it could look dark, I need it to be a little bit lighter, and then the Marc Jacobs one dilutes it a little bit. But I still get the intensity, it's just not as crazy. And blend it out. Someone told me that they don't like to do the chin highlight because it looks like chicken grease, like after they've eaten KFC, and I totally agree, but I still fucks with it. Look at that. Boom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the cheekbones as well. I like to do the highlights first because I did that darker powder, the highlight is like kind of going into it. Sometimes it can turn ashy, or it can like, since it's a liquid product, it doesn't blend as seamlessly as it would if I was just blending it on top of a liquid. So it's really important to do all your creams and liquids first and then your powders. But I got so into it that I forgot. Also putting that on the forehead. All right, liquid glow done. I'm gonna set the glow with some more glow. I'm gonna be using the Dior Nude Air Luminous in 001 with a Sephora fan brush. This has a little bit of like a rose gold undertone, so I think it might look really nice with this makeup look. And I'm just gonna lightly dust that over all that liquid glow. It's a little too much, I think. I think I'm glowing a little too much, which some would say is impossible, but I'm just gonna go back over with my foundation brush. So finishing off, I'm gonna apply a little bronzer. This is the Terracotta shade 05. This is the Guerlain. One day I'll be able to say it. I always forget. And my MAC 137 brush. This brush is so good for applying bronzer when you have breakouts because it's so soft. It like disperses the product without like moving anything around too much under the skin. So it's just a very soft brush, and I'm gonna, in circular motions, apply it to the hairline first over here and then bring it down the hollows. Also along the perimeter of the forehead. We don't need to apply too much because we applied a little bit of a darker shade of our MAC Studio Fix. There's already a little depth there, just kind of going over it lightly. Okay, so I decided to go with MAC Copper Tone Blush to stick with the coppery shades of this whole look. So it's all in synergy. And lightly pat it onto the cheeks. So the blush is done. Now the final step is the lipstick combo that I used. The new Dose of Color Lip It Up sticks. These are so good. The formula is like really creamy, really pigmented, hydrating. And I mixed 2 colors yesterday. I used Brulee and Toast. I'm gonna go in with Toast. I like the shape of these because it's easy to put them on without a lip liner. Okay, so Toast is pretty just like by itself. It's like a really nice nudie tone, but I wanted to make it a little bit more pink, so that's why I applied Brulee over top. It's like the perfect color with this eye look. I'm gonna set everything with a little spray, a little Fix Plus by MAC. I'm actually just doing that because I'm hot. And that's it. This is the finished makeup look. I love this makeup look. I love the tones. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to tweet me photos if you do recreate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Whew. I think, did I go into that color? Oh, I hate when I do makeup looks and then I forget what I did. So, I'm sweating. Why does the trash man always come at this time? I swear it doesn't matter when I'm filming, trash man's here. I'm gonna go downstairs and talk to him about my schedule.